Can you tell me about your background as a painter and photographer? How did you get started in these fields?
I started as a child. I was only 14. Uh, we moved to Puerto Rico when I was younger. I didn't know the language, so I just started. I picked up a camera once, and I never put it down. I've been taking pictures ever since.
What inspires you to create art? Are there any particular themes or subjects you enjoy exploring?
Nature's my main thing. I love nature. Trees mostly. I usually do mostly trees or flowers and stuff like that. Um, I just try to show the beauty around us. There's so much concrete that's being put up, and most people don't understand. If it wasn't for trees, we wouldn't be alive. So I like to give and honor trees, basically, if you want to put it that way.
How has your experience as a veteran influenced your artistic work, if at all?
Um, it really doesn't influence me. I mean, in the beginning, I did a few paintings of what happened in the Gulf War, but emotionally it was too painful, so I just dropped it, and that's why I went back into nature, redoing things that make me feel good with inside myself.
Why was it too emotionally painful?
Because of what I experienced. Because when I was in the first Gulf War, from Desert Storm all the way up to Desert Shield, or vice versa, and I just seen too much human carnage, and I just couldn't understand. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was a soldier, so I had to do what I had to do. It was them against me, but coming back after the war and coming back as a civilian, nightmares started, and that's why I just try to keep that in my past.
Could you share some of your favorite projects or pieces that you worked on over the years? What makes them special to you?
I couldn't say I have one specific favorite because each piece is unique, but sometimes I like to make triptychs, meaning three in a series, or I'll do a four series of a sculptures, and each one is different because it's each one's got its own life. So I take time with one, I build on another, or I'll take a photograph of mine, and then I'll make a painting of that, or just expand on that photograph and just make and use that photograph, just the photograph itself. So it's basically kind of like a learning process. I'm always learning. I'm always learning new stuff.
What have you learned recently in the past few years?
Um, I've learned how to, especially when I'm making my sculptures, how to blend different material. Like I like to use driftwood. Um, like to use metal, meaning copper. I paint the wood and kind of like blend it all together, so this way it becomes one cohesive sculpture.
How do you approach the creative process? Are there any specific techniques or methods you use when painting or taking photographs?
Um, when taking photographs, not really. I usually just carry the camera with me. Let's say if I go walking in a park and if I see a design of a tree or something, I'll take a photograph, or if not, I'll be in my studio. Excuse me. And if an idea comes to me, I'll grab a sketch of paper, I'll sketch it out, and then I'll write notes on that of what colors I want to use, and just develop it from there.
How have you seen the art world and photography evolve over the years? What changes have you witnessed personally?
Well, in photography itself, I've seen that, when I was first doing it, you had an enlarger, you would develop the on the film, you would develop the pictures, use, different techniques in the darkroom. Now everything's computerized, and access to film is very rare, or if at all. So I had to go digital. There's its challenges because I'm not much of a techie, so it's a learning curve. But you have to add the new with the old, and work from there.
Have you faced any challenges or obstacles as an artist? How did you overcome them?
Well, my challenges were trying to deal with money to pay for art supplies and art, And the other challenges were, what do I want to do? The creative process. Do I want to do a photography? Do I want to do a sculpture? Do I want to do painting? So each one is a different problem that you have to solve, hopefully to get the same results or the results that you're trying to achieve. And those are the biggest obstacles.
How did you overcome these?
Um, Persistence. I overcame them because I wouldn't quit. I don't quit. I mean, I like to get things done right. I like to do them properly. Uh, and if I have a problem, if I don't like that piece of work, I'll start again. And until I get the results that I'm looking for, And sometimes the new piece might be different from the old piece, but then again, now you got two different pieces that represent two different time periods.
Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, time periods meaning that, let's say, if I do a painting today and I like that painting, but I want to do it differently, meaning maybe do the same painting in pencil or the same painting in pastel or in acrylic, you get new challenges. Not only that, your choice of paper, how you want to do it, and it's always a different challenge each time.
Are there any artists, photographers, or painters who have influenced your work? If so, who are they and why did they inspire you?
Um, I would say the first photographer who ever inspired me was Ansel Adams, and the reason is because he used what considered the zone system, which is a spectrum from 0 all the way to 9, from black all the way to white, and all the colors in between. And the way his photographs turned out, they were very crisp, uniform, and had the whole spectrum of all the colors. So, but there are many other, artists and photographers that have inspired me, but there's so many that I can't count them all. Um, you know, but looking at art, original art, is completely different than looking at art in a photograph. You have to actually experience it when you go to a museum. There was a painting that I saw done by Jackson Pollock, and it was only in a little. It was in an art book, and I couldn't understand why he was so important. But when I went to go see him in the MoMA in New York, I saw the size and scale of his work, and it blew me away because it was so big. And that's why I understand that you have to experience art by visually seeing the piece itself.
Can you talk about any specific projects or goals you have for the future? What do you hope to achieve?
Um, to have the health that I could continue to do my work, the finances, and the future, I would like to show my work to as many people as possible so they could appreciate it. They could enjoy what I enjoy making it. So this way, if they hang it on their wall, or if they put one of my sculptures on one of their tables or something like that, they could enjoy what I've created to give them joy each time they see it.
Do you have any advice for aspiring painters and photographers, especially those who may be starting later in life?
I would say if you have the inspiration and if you have the urge to do it, do it. There's no actual time frame when you could start doing artwork. I mean, when we were all kids, we started playing with coloring books. Well, that's actually starting doing artwork right then. Um, at the end of life, or when you get elderly or older, um, pick up a paintbrush, pick up a camera. You're never too old to create artwork. But the thing is, do it. And if you say, "Oh, I'm not a good artist," you don't know until you try it. And sometimes you're going to have frustrations, but continue, pursue it, because at the end you're going to feel good about yourself, and other people are going to enjoy what you have created.